Alright, hope everyone's doing good today. I'm going to try to get in a quick shave. Okay, so I'm going to use the same Shave Revolution brush that I did from the last video. Today I'm going to use Colonia. This is the 4.3 SV beta formula. I put a decent little smear of coke and butter on there. So before I load, let me just try and get just a little bit of this extra water out of the knot. Okay, let's get that last little bit of water. I'm going to use the Carbon Titanium Plus base plate first. And I only have 2 days beard growth, so I don't think there's going to be... I'm not going to do my first pass against the grain. I'll just do it with the grain. And then we'll just kind of see after that first pass where we're at. So just see a little bit of the proto-lather forming. I don't know if I told you guys, but this this new 4.3 formula, I mean this, I can't remember when this got released. What was it? 2 years ago? I can't remember. Maybe not that long ago. But Philip Bulgoose was selling the last bit of his stock. That was the dented tins. I ended up picking up 3 of these. So I've got, including my original puck, I've got probably close to like 500 grams of this soap. So I really like this soap. I wasn't really a big fan of the original 4.1 release. So, okay. I may not demonstrate it on camera, but this is like my 6th, maybe 7th bottle of the pre-shave oil. And since in the last video I was talking about badger brushes, so usually what I do is when I'm done shaving, I'll really wring out the knot well with warm water. Pretty extensively, like 3, 4, sometimes 5 times. Like if I did a really heavy load, sometimes it does take just a little bit longer to get those last little bits of soap residue out of the knot. And then after it dries, I'll use the either coconut butter, mango butter, or I may just take this applicator tip because it's like a roll-on, put some on my hand, and then what I do is with the pre-shave oil on my hand, I just kind of dab it like this. So that's one thing that I do to kind of keep my brushes somewhat pliable. For some more water. You know what's funny? Sometimes, you guys, I really like this Colonia scent, and it's going to be kind of hot today. But sometimes I'm not always in the mood to use SV for the scents. I think if I lived in some cooler weather, that I might use. Like I replied to one of Nav's comments about, you know, he had mentioned like he really, or that he was about to use Cosmo, Stella Alpina, Cubebe, and Mirto di Sardegna. And sometimes I really just use SV because I am using it for the performance and just like how I know I'll just get a fairly consistent shave. Let me just go one more thing of water. I think this is going to be fine. But yeah, I was trying to think like what soaps I want to use for the scent today. I made a comment in the last video that, I've been experimenting this last year, and part of that is just kind of being a little bit more on the fly with, kind of deciding what I want to use for my shave based on what the scent's going to be like, and just kind of choosing a fragrance that I'm going to enjoy. But I really like this scent. I'll end up because this is just like a Colonia scent. I mean, if people are familiar with Acqua di Gio, this is like a Colonia scent with like a water note, kind of like what do they say? The salty, kind of like that salty feel being by the sea, the ocean. So I pair those together right now, but Frank at Ethos has a EDP of, what is it? The Colonia scent that he made, and I think that I'll probably try and snag one of those sometime this year. I kind of want to not get it and keep using the 70th, but I really enjoy the Colonia scents, so I may just decide to pull the trigger just for my own personal use. I got my birthday coming up in a couple weeks, so I had replied, or was going to reply in a thread on the Omega, what is it, the Evo, the synthetic brushes. For whatever reason, over the weekend, I was kind of like, I almost ended up purchasing one. I didn't realize they were so expensive. The one I was looking at was, I think, like $80 to $90. And then last minute, I just said, you know what, I'm going to wait. But I'll probably eat some of my words fairly soon, because as much as I've said over the last few years that I don't want to get any more Badger brushes, for whatever reason lately I've just been kind of itching to try a couple more. This is feeling really good. This is that same blade, you guys, that you saw me switch. This is the, where's the thing? The Wilkinson sword, London Bridge. Simply rinse your razor and shake dry. You know what? I assume in that last video, I really must have done a bad job when I left to not realize that there was some blood on the blade, because it left some marks on my underside of my cap, and I cleaned them. It did wipe off fairly easily, but don't want to do that again. So anyway, yeah, a couple of the brushes that I want to try are, none of them are really large. I want to give a couple of the Acca silver tips. If you guys don't know Acca, that's an Italian brand. I have one of their larger brushes, the 1869 model. And I think there's like a 22 millimeter knot that I want to try from them. I think they call that I don't know if they call that a medium size. And then they may have one that's, I think, a 20. I can't remember if it's a 24 or 26, which usually is a little too large for me. So I may just shoot for that 22 millimeter. I've never tried a Salville row brush, and I'm kind of surprised that I haven't, because for a long time I know that those are a little bit more up my alley. It's like a pointed silver tip with a little bit more of a higher loft. And they pretty much have the whole gamut of different sizes available. So I may try to shoot for actually buying a 22 millimeter and then getting a 24 millimeter. Just hoping that it's not going to be too soft. I'm not quite sure if those have a little bit of a... I don't think they're gel tipped. I know that they're soft though, so... And then earlier this year I was kind of recollecting really early on, I had met this guy Chris Ciccarelli from Old Town Shaving. He's the one that got me and gave me samples for the first time of Barrister and Mann. But he lent me his... Oh, you know what? No, I'm thinking of somebody else. God, yeah, this was like really early on in my shave. I can't remember the guy's name. It wasn't just Chris Ciccarelli. Anyway, this guy, we did some long-term trades. Like, I think he borrowed my R41, and he let me borrow his Thader silver tip. And I remember how dense it was. I mean, not that I'm complaining about it, because I know that I generally say I like a floppy brush. But the Thader silver tip was dense enough that I remember the lathers being really nice, as well as the heat retention was really good. It's just kind of funny when I'll have these moments and remember certain things that I'd kind of like forgotten about, or just in shaving. So as far as my second pass, if I'm going against the grain, I just go as far as I can on the jawline, and then I'll just go against the grain for that last part. And this doesn't really lead to the most consistent shave, meaning like it's not evenly close all around, but this is a very satisfactory shave for me to do a with the grain first pass if I've got less growth. I think that's it. So, I mean, I may at some time decide down the line to snag like a 24 millimeter Thader silver tip. But after that, I won't get any more brushes. Felt really good. Okay. I'm going to skip showing you guys the aftershave or whatever. I'm going to use Colonia aftershave, but I'll show you guys a couple of pots real quick. So these are a couple more recent ones. This is a dark teal color that then gets sprayed, or I dipped this one in a green glaze called Oribe, and this one has kind of like a frosted look because it's got like a white kind of semi-gloss, semi-matte glaze on top. So that one turned out pretty cool. This one's kind of in that same vein. You'll be able to tell that darker green color is a little bit more present. So this one has the banding in a masked dark teal color. This one also has some sections where that white gloss, semi-gloss or semi-matte, got sprayed underneath, which is where you kind of see some of those, they call them micro crystals. And then this one, that green glaze, is what we call Oribe. So this one turned out pretty cool too. Giving you guys the short rundown. Show you two more real quick. Both of those were porcelain pieces, so it's a little bit more brilliant with the finish and the color. This one's a sandier clay called soldate. This is a clear glaze that kind of comes across like a gray blue. This is a mottled blue gloss. It's a glaze I had never used before. And this has a little bit of that dark teal splashed on. And then this is what's called a khaki iron glaze. And it turned out a little bit thinner, so I wasn't quite expecting this type of, they call it kind of like a liver red. But this one turned out pretty cool. I kind of dig that flared lip shape. And I'll show you one more. This is a matte black glaze. I took this dark teal color, and you guys will see these little spots that I dribbled in there first and then dipped over the matte black. So this is kind of an interesting finish. It's that same sandy clay on the last piece, but with this metallic matte black finish, it has kind of like a shimmer to it. And so this is obviously like an altered bowl. So I'll show you guys some more pieces probably in the next video. I'm gonna jam. When was the last time I had a video under 20 minutes? I don't think that I've ever had one. So I'm gonna jam. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys soon.